Moscow, Russia, July 1970. After years of studying findings from various moon missions, two government scientists, Mikhail Vasin and Alexander Shcherbakov, publish an article in Sputnik magazine, revealing their shocking conclusion about the nature of the moon. Their theory is that the moon is likely a creation of alien intelligence that was brought to Earth in the remote past.
Two Russian physicists, Vasin and Shcherbakov, came up with the idea that the moon must be an artificial object. They based their ideas on, first of all, the fact that it appeared that the moon was hollow. Since no hollow planet could exist according to the known laws of physics, that would mean that the moon had to be an artificial, an engineered object.
Based on the maximum depth of the moon craters, Vasin and Shcherbakov proposed that the surface was only 2.5 miles thick. NASA scientists had determined that this moon dust primarily consisted of chromium, titanium, and zirconium. In their publication, Vasin and Shcherbakov noted if a material had to be devised to protect a giant artificial satellite from the unfavorable effects of temperature, cosmic radiation, and meteorite bombardment, the experts would probably have hit on precisely these elements.
Now, they themselves proposed that this suggestion is outlandish. However, only through their calculations and all the mathematics, they determined that their theory is correct. We're talking people in academia who may perhaps lose their position at the universities. I don't think anybody would publish a paper like this unless they were 100% convinced that their findings are true.
And so these Russian scientists, their theory is that the moon is a spaceship, it's got engines within, but that on the outside they've coated it with this moon-looking substance. Now, it's a far-fetched idea, but it makes a lot of sense in that you might want to shroud or cloak this craft and make it look like a very natural object.
Since the publication of the Vasin and Shcherbakov article, other researchers have come out in support of their theory.
There are ancient stories that speak of a time when the moon was not up in the sky. And there are descriptions that say that the moon was artificially pulled into place. So if we have two modern Russian scientists who have suggested that perhaps the moon was pulled into place, and that is a corroboration of ancient mythologies, that's when I listen.
So the whole idea that our moon is some gigantic, hollow spaceship that's been put into a special orbit around our planet and contains cities and structures that are inside and outside of the moon is, to me, a very reasonable assertion. And in fact, it would seem to be that our moon is some kind of gigantic artificial spaceship that is here to monitor our planet.
Is it possible that the moon is actually a spacecraft? And might it have allowed extraterrestrials to discreetly monitor our planet? But if so, might these beings still be there today?
They got that knowledge. It boggles the mind.
We have been visited by extraterrestrials in the remote past.